New Shoker writes, "Hey AMC, been watching the show for months now and you guys do a fantastic job. My question is regarding the movie Gladiator. Despite the odds of this being pretty slim, there's been speculation of doing a sequel for years. But it would obviously be difficult to continue with such a flawless story like the original film, given Russell Crowe's character dies. So instead of a sequel, would the studio ever consider a Gladiator prequel, with Proximo being the main character? The setting could take place decades before the events of the first film, in which they could do the backstory of how Marcus Aurelius came to be in power, while keeping the main focus on Proximo and how he won his freedom as a gladiator. Thanks."
Thank you for the question. You've obviously thought about this. That's very detailed.
It's more writing I've done in the last 5 years.
I love Gladiator as well. I actually rewatched it about a month ago, and I love that film. And let's be honest, Ridley Scott, I was disappointed with Prometheus. I know not everyone felt that way, but I was, because my expectations were sky high. The Counselor, we're just gonna let that sit right there. So yeah, I think he could really use a film like this. I don't think it's gonna happen. Would I be into it? Yes. I think sometimes when they do sequels again and again, it loses some of the magic and nostalgia of the story. But I am interested. I'm a sucker for origin stories. So I really do think that prequels sometimes are the better method of, explaining the story in more depth. But I don't think we're going to see it anytime soon. Is it possible? Of course. But yeah, I'm interested to see what Ridley's going to do next after, obviously, the next biblical epic that's coming out soon. What do you think?
Look, let's wash the smell of Pompeii away. Give me this thing. It's like, because if we could have Ridley Scott do it, and I think that's a really good idea for that prequel as well. Plus the fact you get to see more history and what kind of they mix and match what happened and what didn't, but to get more of that stuff and more of that feel, and to bring back that epic score by Hans Zimmer would be great. So there's a lot you could do there. You don't have to lead up to the events of Maximus and all that, because again, we can pull from history, and it's not really a sequel, even necessarily a prequel all the way, because these characters don't have much to do in Gladiator. But yeah, sign me up.
And how good was Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I watched it again. I was like, he really would have been the perfect Lex Luthor.
See him as a baby.
I think it's a horrible idea. Yeah. I think making a sequel to I loved Gladiator. I think I saw it in the theater like 3 times.
Yeah.
I bought the DVD, watched all the extras.
You bought the DVD?
I bought the DVD.
Damn.
I know. In this day and age when people don't actually buy physical items anymore, back about 10 years ago, people bought these things called DVDs. Now it's Blu-ray. And I loved it.
Where did you dig up that old fossil?
DVDs. Yeah, it's a great film. Does it need a sequel or a prequel? Absolutely not. I think Ridley Scott should make a sequel to White Squall before he makes a sequel to Gladiator.
That movie crushed me. I absolutely lost
Black Rain?
it.
Do a mashup.
And they're talking Blade Runner also. So you don't know if he's going, because apparently from what Blade Runner is saying, that he's more into that right now. So this ever happening is probably either not going to happen or definitely not going to have him
I don't
involved.
think he'll be involved at all.
And then I don't want to see it.
If Scott Free was just like some kind of entity producing, he won't even be involved either. So I don't think it's. I really don't think it's that great of an idea. I mean.
Aww.
Poor guy.
No, I mean, I'm just saying,
liked it.
some films should just be standalone. Like, did you ever see Jaws? Yeah. Did you see Jaws 2? Not really.
But don't you think that's different though, in regards, because Jaws 2, you're continuing that one thread. This your point, because you just from the Brodies, you're taking all that stuff. When you're going back into history with everything that happened to the Romans, there's so much to pull for. So you essentially could pull a good idea out of that.
You could, but the fear that I have is that you would also ruin Gladiator. It's like the Matrix sequels ruined the first movie. For me, it's like a prequel. If it's like Gladiator, the early years or whatever, then when people 20 years from now is like, you ever see Gladiator? Nah, I saw the Gladiator, the first one. Gladiator, the early years.
I want to combine your guys' movie with Gladiator Jaws. I think that could work. That's got legs. I don't want to see this happen either, because it's such a fine line. Like you mentioned Pompeii. Even if Ridley Scott's involved, there's just a lot of stars that have to align to make a really great epic like that, and it can err on the side of cheesy so easily. It's like when you watch Star Wars, that so easily could have turned into Flash Gordon, something like that. So I really don't care about seeing.
How dare you bring Flash into this
I love Flash Gordon.
It's so bad. It is so bad. It made me like Queen less.
Ted would disagree.
Ted's a stuffed animal.
Hawkman, destroy him.
Exactly.
So you brought up Blade Runner 2. Would you like to see that?
Yeah, I mean, yes, because you're going to have the core characters involved too, and because for some reason Harrison Ford has gotten to a place now. he's rumored heavily to be in Episode 7, and that deal was contingent on the fact that he gets to do another Indiana Jones film, so he's pushing that. And he's apparently really interested in doing Blade Runner, so he has this resurgence to, I guess, appease fans.
Make
as
money?
Well, no, but not,
Make
I don't
money,
necessarily.
make money,
he
money,
will make money,
money.
obviously,
Yeah.
but that's not the driving force behind this, because you're not going to make 3 franchise films like that unless you want to go out with a bang.
Sealing his legacy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because that last thing that he did in Indiana Jones, he knew that was garbage. They had the Frank Darabont one sealed, locked, and delivered.
I
George
know.
Lucas poo-pooed it, and that was the one that he was championing.
I'm so angry about that.
Yeah, so now he's able to do that. So I think that Blade Runner will happen, and I think Harrison Ford will be back.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.